Welcome to Cold Brew Finance's U.S. End of Week Deep Dive, covering market moves in indexes, sectors, stocks, and global markets for the week ending Friday, July 11th, 2025. Kicking things off, I'm Max Profit. Key indexes closed lower today, despite the S&P 500 index and the Nasdaq Composite Index hitting new all-time highs yesterday. Both indexes maintained very strong positive trends, with the S&P 400 Mid-Cap Index showing strong upward volatility after 3 days of consolidation. Market breadth was notably positive this week. The S&P 500 saw 336 advances versus 159 declines, while the Russell 2000 showed nearly twice as many advances as declines, with 1,201 stocks moving higher against 668 lower. Weekly returns were marginally negative across all major indexes. The Dow 30 Index saw the largest decline at minus 1.02%, while the Nasdaq Composite showed the smallest loss at just minus 0.08%. Month to date, all indexes remain positive. Long-term performance shows the Nasdaq Composite leading with a 312% 10-year total return and 15.2% annual rate. The S&P 500 follows with 201% total return, while the Russell 2000 trails with 78% over the same period.
Checking out best and worst performing equities, I'm Penny Stock. Leading gainers, ProKidney surged to 4.54, up 3.90, or an astounding 612%. Above food ingredients jumped 388% to 3.63, while Dallas News climbed 208% to 13.63. Weekly returns show remarkable performance. ProKidney posted a 612% weekly return, with average daily gains exceeding 106%. Above food, ingredients delivered a 388% weekly return, averaging 79% daily gains. Looking at longer-term performance, Delta Airlines shows impressive 3-year returns of 93%, while Tapestry leads with strong 10-year returns exceeding 194%, averaging 11.4% annually. Among large caps, Delta Airlines led with an 11.3% gain to 56.65. Moderna rose 10.3% to 33.64, while PTC hit a new all-time high at 193.51, up 9.9%. Weekly performance shows Delta Airlines leading with an 11.3% return and 2.3% average daily gains. Moderna followed with a 10.3% weekly return, averaging 2.1% daily gains. Long-term returns highlight Tapestry's impressive performance, up 218% over 3 years, with 47% annual returns. PTC shows strong 10-year gains of 398%, averaging 17.4% annually. Among decliners, Skyline Builders Group holding plunged 87.9% to 1.50. Top Kingwin dropped 86.3% to 0.49, while Syros Pharmaceuticals fell 59.7% to just 0.1. Weekly losses were substantial, with Skyline Builders down 87.9%, averaging daily declines of 17.3%. Top Kingwin fell 86.3% for the week, with average daily losses of 22.7%. Leading the worst performers, Skyline Builders Group holding plunged 87.9% to 1.50, hitting an all-time low. Top Kingwin tumbled 86.3% to 0.49. Syros Pharmaceuticals dropped nearly 60%, while Biosig Technologies and SMX each fell about 50%. Among large caps, Fair Isaac led declines, dropping 16.7% to 1,000, 544.23 with strong negative momentum. First Solar fell 12.2%, while Autodesk slid 11.4% amid increased volatility. ServiceNow and CarMax also showed significant weakness. Year-to-date losses paint a challenging picture. Fair Isaac is down 22.4%, while ServiceNow has declined 11.4%. CarMax shows a 21.3% loss, with First Solar and Autodesk each down between 5–8%. Looking at longer-term performance, Fair Isaac shows strength with a 10-year return of 1,545%. ServiceNow gained 1,123% over the same period. First Solar and Autodesk recorded gains of 269% and 434% respectively, while CarMax slightly declined.
And now on to U.S. sector performance, where energy leads with a 2.4% gain. Industrials and technology both reached new all-time highs, while showing very strong positive trends. Utilities and consumer cyclical maintained upward momentum with multiple consecutive weekly gains. Market breadth shows strong daily advances, particularly in industrials with 436 advances versus 180 declines. Consumer cyclical also displayed robust breadth with 322 advances against 152 declines. Technology showed mixed signals with positive daily breadth but weaker weekly numbers. In short-term returns, energy stands out with a 2.5% weekly return and 5.3% month-to-date gain. Industrials and technology both show consistent daily returns, while consumer cyclical lags slightly year-to-date with a -2.5% return. Looking at long-term performance, technology dominates with a 629% 10-year total return, averaging nearly 22% annually. Industrials and consumer cyclical both show solid 10-year gains around 172% and 190% respectively. Energy shows more modest long-term growth at 27%.
Energy stocks showed notable strength this week. Hess and Valero Energy led with strong positive trends and upward volatility, both gaining over 6%. Halliburton posted the largest percentage gain at 7.2%, despite showing a mixed negative trend. Month-to-date returns are particularly strong for these energy stocks. Valero Energy leads with a 13.9% month-to-date return, followed closely by Halliburton at 13.2%. Year-to-date, Valero stands out with a 24.8% gain. Looking at longer-term performance, Hess and Valero Energy show impressive 10-year returns of 138% and 132% respectively. In contrast, Halliburton and Occidental Petroleum have declined over the same period.
The worst-performing sectors showed notable declines this week. Financial services fell 1.9% to 868.30, despite recording a new all-time high last week. Consumer defensive dropped 1.7% to 889.40. Communication services has declined for 2 consecutive weeks while maintaining sideways movement. Market breadth reveals interesting patterns. Financial services shows strong daily advances despite the weekly decline. Healthcare displays nearly balanced daily movement with 512 advances versus 520 declines, though monthly declines are double the advances. Consumer defensive shows weakness across all time frames. Weekly returns highlight the extent of recent declines. Financial services leads the losses at -1.9%, followed by consumer defensive at -1.7%. Despite recent weakness, year-to-date returns remain positive for most sectors, with communication services up 8.8% and financial services up 7.9%. Long-term performance shows varying success. Financial services leads with a 10-year return of 162%, averaging 10.1% annually. Communication services follows with 144% over 10 years. Healthcare and real estate show more modest long-term gains.
Financial services stocks showed weakness this week. PayPal led the declines, dropping 6.8% with a downward breakout after trading flat. Progressive fell 6.3% amid increasing volatility. Despite the sector's weakness, Bank of America maintained a strong upward trend, recording a new one-year high. Looking at weekly returns, PayPal and Progressive showed the steepest declines at -6.8% and -6.3% respectively. Year-to-date, PayPal has struggled with a -16.4% return, while Bank of America shows resilience with a positive 6.3% return. Long-term performance reveals interesting patterns. Progressive and MSCI stand out with impressive 10-year annual returns of 236% and 244% respectively. MetLife shows more modest long-term growth with a 45% annual rate of return over the same period.
Thanks for watching. I'm Max Profit, along with my AI co-host Penny Stock. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. Cold Brew Finance is an experimental project with market reports written, narrated, and delivered totally by AI, with market data kindly provided by financialmodelingprep.com. Always seek professional financial advice before making any investment decisions. Check into the channel daily for coverage of stocks, crypto, currency, and commodities. Thanks for watching.